How's it going, guys? I guess that works. Sorry, I'm kind of grumpy. I feel very good today. Yeah, I guess that works. I'm gonna take my meds. Maybe I'll feel better after I take my meds. I think someone doesn't want to talk about the bad stuff. I think someone wants to talk about something else instead. So maybe that's what's going on. Just disorganized. It's alright. You're so upset. Everything's fine. Hi, my name is Andrew, and today I'm going to talk about mental health. I think that it is important for me to talk about mental health and chronic illness only because I do not meet whatever society's criteria is of being sick. So I'm here to challenge that. When I was very small, I kept getting sick. One of my first memories is not being able to open my eyes because my eyes had crusted together in my sleep and screaming because I was afraid that I'd gone blind. My abuela ran upstairs and she wiped my eyes off with a warm washcloth. A lot of my youngest and earliest memories of me going to the doctor and getting penicillin shots or sitting in the waiting room. My parents decided that it would be best if we went to Florida because my health may improve there. Left for Florida and I did get better. We moved when I was 4. When I was 4, I saw someone die. From that point, things obviously were never the same. I had a lot of anxiety, and one friend fantasized about death all the time, was very sad. I started exhibiting symptoms of poor mental health very early. I don't really remember a time without it. It might have been about 8, 9, or 10 years old when my stomach started to hurt. I do my makeup in kind of a weird order. I like to do my lips before I do eyebrows, and then I do everything else. My everyday go-to lip color is Kat Von D and Lolita, the original one, not number 2. About age 10, I tried to kill myself the first time. It came one kind of suddenly, but there's a missing part of my memory there. Things are kind of blurry between when my mom left when I was 8 and by the time I got sad. The ages of 10, 11, 12, I wrote a handful of suicide notes, poetry about the ways I wanted to die, about something hurting me very badly. Things would not be the same now. Back in those days, this is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. I didn't tell anyone that I'd sat in my bathtub face down until, the bubbles stopped. I didn't tell anyone that I tried to kill myself. It's like it never happened. There are journal entries. I wrote this down. I remember, but no one else saw it happen, and that scares me the most. Because I remember I had a website at 11 because I had no real friends. I had online friends. My best friend growing up, she attributes my change to me listening to My Chemical Romance. The first time that I listened to My Chemical Romance, I was already suicidal. And listening to My Chemical Romance made me less suicidal. And that is important to remember, and she didn't really understand that. Reading My Chemical Romance and finding the pop punk genre on my own was a huge deal to 13-year-old me, sad and unable to breathe and having panic attacks and hiding under my bed and in my closet, not sleeping or sleeping on my floor. I will never fault the music that I listened to for the reason that I was sad. I listened to Black Sabbath growing up, Pink Floyd and Pearl Jam, Metallica, Slayer, Iron Maiden. Like, the music that I listened to saved my life, kept me alive. To anyone who is looking at their 13 and 14-year-old kid, I don't understand your music. Why is it so sad? Why is it so angry? Maybe you should talk to your fucking kid. Not being able to finish homework and, not doing great in school. Growing up, I was in ballet, karate, I painted, did choir, was in all advanced classes. I was in first grade. I was reading at a college level. Like, there's so much, and then it just, and that sucks because I was good at school. I still don't know what that something was. And then going to school and being bullied for being gay. Oh yeah, there was that on top. I'm already like sad as hell. Man, I'm bisexual. And then I had a girlfriend, and then I got hazed, harassed, chased, jumped, threatened. People would like come to my classroom and like throw rocks at me and throw gum at me. So the point of me making this video is that, like I said earlier, people look at me and I tell these stories about the things that have happened to me, and people do not believe me because of the way that I look. Why do you gotta be mean about people's appearances? What? Why? You just want to be mean to be fucking mean. You gotta pick on people's fucking insecurities and shit. Like, why? Why you gotta be that way? My situation at home was difficult at that point, and my relationship with my then girlfriend was also difficult, not only because we were being harassed in school, but because we also were both exhibiting very severe mental illness symptoms, taking them out on each other, and also not receiving adequate help for the things that were going on. I developed an eating disorder at 13. I very distinctly remember what it is that triggered a voice in my head to tell me not to eat anymore. Summer between 7th and 8th grade, and dating my first girlfriend, I had gotten my hair relaxed. I was 40 pounds smaller. It was a really ugly and bad time. It's very blurry. High school, I am still struggling with these mental health things. I was literally about to say, I think at some point I had a handle on them, and then I remember telling my middle school girlfriend that I was going to beat her up for breaking up with me, essentially. I'm going to own it. I was not nice. I was really abusive. I was really shitty, and locked their doors at night because I thought that I meant it. I hate teenage me. I hate teenage me. Teenage me, like, it's not teenage me's fault. Teenage me was also a fucking asshole. For anyone who knew me as a teenager, I'm sorry if I was ever an asshole to you, is what I'm trying to say. Playing myself into another relationship, second semester of high school. This relationship lasts from the beginning of the second semester of high school until after we graduate. In this relationship, if I thought the last one was hard, this one was hard times 5,000. A lot of things that shouldn't have happened, a lot of things that shouldn't have been said, a lot of scars in the other person's mental health that will never go away. The Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer as a faux contour because I don't contour my face. The 4 years of high school, the first 2 years, my eating disorder kind of ebbed and flowed, and I was no longer restrictive eating the same way that I was in middle school. I asked my dad to put me in therapy. I really didn't like where my mental health was going. I needed to tell someone that I'd just gotten fucking hazed for a year, and that I didn't tell anyone in middle school because I couldn't tell my abuela why I would come home crying. Oh, the kids are making fun of me because I'm gay. She got a whiff of me dating a girl in the 8th grade and wanted to kick me out. This person loves me more than anything in the entire world. So no, I wasn't going to tell anyone. I just fucking dealt with it. I saw a school therapist every Thursday in the first 2 years I was in high school. Third year I was in high school, I went to a psychiatrist with my dad. It wasn't getting better. It was only getting worse. I was only feeling worse, only feeling more and more intense. And things were only getting more volatile at home and with my girlfriend. Nothing was getting better. I am also using the NARS, and I have the mini one, the NARS Orgasm Blush because it is my favorite. I go to the psychiatrist with my dad for a psychiatric evaluation. If anybody doesn't know this about me, I was going to be a psychiatrist, and I have spent many years reading every psychiatric journal, article, and textbook that I could get my hands on. I am not a doctor. I am only not a doctor because of my chronic illness. This is not the look I'm going for today. I'm gonna go a little darker. Ow. I go to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist diagnosed me with bipolar 2 disorder, general anxiety disorder, and a type of OCD. My dad is with me because I am 16 years old, through my entire psychiatric evaluation, and the doctor asked me if I ever wanted to kill myself, and I told him yes. If I felt suicidal currently, and I said yes. Heavily recommends that I start medication immediately. My dad says no. We go home. He yells at me for telling the doctor those things. I ask him, what did you think we were going for? I cry. You know this. I am using the Moonchild Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It is my absolute favorite. It was gifted to me for the holidays by my best friend in the entire world. Special shout out to Phoenix. You are the bomb.com. I needed a different kind of therapist. I went to a therapist that was kind of far. My dad made a point of taking me. He tried. I think he realized after a certain point his relationship with mental health is still rocky, but I understand where he's coming from. And I was speaking to her, and it was important. It was really invalidating. It was something that I felt, but I remember feeling very insulted. I remember feeling what's happening. So my favorite memory from those days is my dad and I going to McDonald's and getting chicken nuggets. Dad doesn't like fast food, but we would get chicken nuggets, and it was awesome. I learned something as I was a teenager. I'm not taken seriously because of how clearly and how well I speak about the things that have happened to me. I have separated myself so much from the things that happen inside my own body every day that I can look at them from the outside in. I think that being that kind of self-aware, especially when no one knows what the hell is wrong with you, is going to help me find an answer to why I'm sick. Other people didn't like that when I was a teenager. Other people don't like that now, but especially when I was a teenager and I was describing what was going on in my body, in my brain, I used to speak a little bit more. I used to speak better. Senior year of high school is when things changed in a different way. My relationship with my girlfriend ended, but we were still talking every day, and the abuse was still continuing. I was on the phone crying almost every night for at least another year. It did get worse. It did get physical and public. I don't like talking about it. It stresses me out. During my senior year of high school, I reconnected with a friend from childhood. I'm going to call him Spencer. Spencer and I were best friends. We had been friends when I ran my website, the early 2000s. I met him on an Inuyasha forum site, and my pretentious, snobby 5th grade self told him, hey, your URL is spelled incorrectly. And that's how we became friends. I'm not going to tell the whole story about Spencer, but the entirety of my senior year, Spencer was always with me. We would either go to his house and hang out, go to the mall and walk around, go to Starbucks and get coffee, or we would be at my house. While this was happening, my physical health started to deteriorate, but the breaking point that I remember is getting ill. Going to the doctor wouldn't see me because my dad owed them like $100. I had a fever and I was not doing good. Since that time period, I don't remember ever feeling better. My stomach aches, I had them always. They were back tenfold. I couldn't eat anything, and that was triggering my eating disorder because then I couldn't eat because then I would have to go and be sick in the bathroom. And then that in my brain goes, well, then you don't deserve to eat. And I'm like, but I'm trying, and I'm really trying to get better. And my brain's like, fuck you, dude, you're gonna suffer. And I'm like, but I don't want this. This is terrible. My brain's just like... So I didn't go to school very much senior year. Senior year, I was too anxious to be there. My body was hurting too much. I couldn't sleep. My dad started listening and would let me stay home, or if he was working close by or if he had gotten off early, he would come and pick me up. I went from being a very great student with a 4.2 GPA to graduating with a 2.8. I started to lose my friends. I would still get in the car with Spencer, but Spencer and I were hella low-key. Would just bum around, and he would play guitar and I would sing. We would talk about moving to New York together and starting a band and being rock stars. What are you gonna do at 17, right? I had a friend who didn't live very far, who I used to hang out with all the time. I no longer had the energy or the willpower or really like if Spencer wanted to hang out, Spencer had a car and would come to my apartment, hang out in my room with me or hang out in the living room with me. It was never anything that hurt me. Like, it was never anything that was too much for me. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a smoke break. At the end of senior year, and I was already missing school and I was already not doing well in my classes. I had gastrointestinal work done, had tests done, labs done, I'd had blood drawn, can no longer eat a lot of the things suddenly that I could eat a year ago. This person decided to tell everyone that I was a bitch and that I was a shitty friend, even though I was really sick, and tried to explain that. It's not like it was a secret, not like I didn't tell anyone that I wasn't doing great. I was too afraid for a long time to talk about it. It's still hard to talk about. This is a hard thing for me to be doing. Editing this is going to make me cry. I'm 18, I graduate high school, I move out of the house, I move in with a friend. My friend also has chronic illness. So I'm in a place that I can talk about, hey, like, I'm really in a lot of pain, or my body is sore, I am having these digestive issues, I have to go lay on the bathroom floor for the next 3 hours. Hey, I'm having a bad IBS day. I don't feel good today. Okay, how can I help? And it's only gotten worse with time. I was hoping maybe that it was temporary and that it would get better. I have progressively had worse and worse pain in every square inch of my body. Sitting cross-legged like this, when I get up again, and you guys saw a little while ago, when I get up again to go lay down, I will be down for hours. I put makeup on now because I have to go out tonight to a friend's house where I will probably be stationary. It takes a long time for me to do everything. I smoke weed because I have PTSD and I have borderline personality disorder. I also have dissociative identity disorder. This video has been very hard to make because of my dissociative identity disorder and every video that I've tried to make. And I didn't know that until very recently. I have chronic fatigue. I have panic disorder, sleep anxiety, idiopathic hypersomnia. I have sleep anxiety because I have nightmares, but I am critically sleepy all the time. Essentially, I'm narcoleptic. I sleep 10 hours at a time, 13 hours at a time. Tell my friends, yeah, let's hang out. And then I fall asleep for the rest of the night and it's 7 p.m. and I don't wake up till the next morning. Skin sensitivity where I don't like to be touched. I love to be cuddled and kissed and hugged on by my friends, but after overstimulation, my skin stings and hurts and I can't be grabbed too hard or it feels like I'm going to die. Because of my gastrointestinal issues, I don't eat. The eating disorder voice is no longer screaming, but I do hear her still. I used to fight through it. Ugh, I used to drink so much coffee, but I was dying on the inside. So much pain, so miserable. Really should have been more patient and I should have stretched more. When I was 20, I had a full-blown manic episode and did some really fucking dangerous things for about 3 months. My relationship that I was in from the time I was 18 to the time I was 20, that wasn't my high school girlfriend. It was someone that I was actually really, really, really in love with. That relationship ended because of my manic episode. After the end of my relationship, I down spiraled and voluntarily admitted myself into a psychiatric hospital. It's very important for me to mention that I voluntarily admitted myself only because I lived in the state of Florida where the Baker Act is a thing. If you don't know what the Baker Act is, I'm going to tell you. The Baker Act is when someone can call the police on you and they put you in involuntary psychiatric hold for 72 hours. I told my therapist that I was thinking about killing myself. The way that we discussed it, he says, okay, you have 2 options. You call me this afternoon and you tell me that you are taking yourself to the hospital that you have chosen, or whatever your insurance is going to take or whatever, or I'm calling the police right now and they're taking you to state. So I went home and I packed my bag and I went to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 10 days. The medications that had me on were all wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna take another hit before I fucking get distracted. I was 20, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder with psychosis. That was my first official diagnosis with psychosis. Oh, that's cute, that rhymes. My first official diagnosis with psychosis. So I started taking medication against my dad's wishes when I was 18, and I started seeing my own therapist on my own. Zoloft, Prozac, Seroquel, Ativan, lithium, Lamictal, Trazodone, Trileptal, Risperdal, Klonopin. These are just for my brain, y'all. Currently, I am still on Prozac, Ativan, and lithium. So before I was in the hospital and I was on medication, I saw a new psychiatrist who is in Orlando, and I don't want any people in Orlando to ever see him again. I told him, hey doc, this medication you gave me, it's making me suicidal. And I'm very self-aware, as I said before. It's making me like actively suicidal, and I don't like it. If this continues, I might harm myself. He goes, you're fine, it's okay. Second time I see him, I go, doc, I'm still suicidal. Not the suicidal I was before. This is different. This is, I'm gonna do it for real. And he's just like, do you have any other symptoms? And I'm like, I guess I have a headache. And he's like, yeah, I guess we can change the medication. While I was still in Orlando, I probably saw another 5 psychiatric doctors. I didn't finish my time with a lot of them only because I could no longer afford to go. The mental health care system in this country is bullshit and very, very, very expensive for someone who is making $8 an hour and is dealing with other physical health problems. I had gone to the emergency room a number of times with no insurance because I was in critical amounts of pain, and they still found nothing. X-rays, ultrasounds, sonograms. The only things they haven't done are things like CAT scans and MRIs and things like that because they don't feel like they have a reason. The closest that I ever got to an answer was when I was in the emergency room once, and they told me there was a problem with my gallbladder and that they were going to see if they could get clearance to just remove it. And me, knowing medicine and doctor stuff, I'm like, gallbladder? Sure. I don't need it, you can have it. I checked my gallbladder, and my gallbladder was completely healthy and fine. And they said that they didn't want to get on doing a surgery that was unnecessary, and so they sent me home instead. That was awful. I do not take pain pills. I don't even fill the scripts because I'm afraid of them. Because I take my psychiatric meds because what I've learned personally, if I was not on my psychiatric meds, I would be worse. And that, in my case, is the truth. I spent my whole adolescent life symptomatic and suffering and did not take any psychiatric medication. Since I started taking my psychiatric medication, yes, I ended up in the hospital, but that's not because of the meds. That's because other shit was going on. I may need them for the rest of my life, and I have to accept that, and that's fine. That's why I don't fuck around when it comes to medication. In the last 6 months, I've been in the emergency room 4 or 5 times. Every time, they just send me home. They keep me there for 3 hours, they rehydrate me, they tell me it's nothing, and just go home. I'm in so much pain. I bloat. I drink this every day, an entire 2 gallons of water, because if I don't, I can't keep my eyes open, and my gut is spasming and uncomfortable and bad. That's another thing. When people look at me and I know they think, oh, you're so thin, blah, blah, I am probably one of the least healthy people you meet. I try, but I can't eat anything, and I constantly feel like I'm rotting from the inside out. I sleep all the time, and I'm sick every day. I don't know. My weight does not equate to me being healthy. I think that I'm a good example of that just because I look a certain way or present myself a certain way doesn't mean shit. It's just really difficult, and I think it's really important for me to discuss this. Right now, I'm sitting calm and my hands are folded, but I'm having tsunami waves of pain through my gut as I sit here. And boy, are they painful. They are right underneath my rib cage. My point of making this Get Ready With Me is it has now taken me 2 hours get ready, to be dressed, and to do makeup. And that's not just because I'm talking. And this happens every day. An update on me now is I still don't feel very well. There still isn't a single answer as to what exactly it is that's wrong. I will continue to fight for my fellow disabled peers. I also would like to use this as a time to reflect on the people that you see. You're at work and you're in your wheelchair behind the counter and they see you and you guys are talking and then you roll up and you look like this and they get scared. And that's something I will never understand. That's why you gotta look at me like that. This is me been talking about the history of my physical and my mental health and where we are today. It's not really a happy story. Let's talk about how I wanted to die when I woke up this morning. No. Or, no, you aren't alone. It does get better. It does get easier to manage. I did not think I would live to see my 24th birthday next week. And here I am. And I'm calling my cool boyfriend, who is currently in Texas, writing an album. There are hard days. There are harder days, and there are impossible days. But there are days with sunshine, too. And I think that that's really hard to remember when this shit's happening. They're there. They exist. I promise. I love you. And I hope that you have